When you watch the news, it frequently seems as though a natural or man-made disaster will bring the world to an end at any moment. Fortunately, none of these seem to be significant enough to destroy the world, but it may be the end of life as we know it. Join me as we explore the most likely end of the world scenarios, and if you stick to the end, I'll present a scenario with a twist to think about it. Pandemics. Nothing a pandemic disease loves more than a city living with numerous life forms crammed together in close proximity, hopefully with little to no sanitation. Given the fact that half of humans live in cities and that we have access to airplane travel, a catastrophic worldwide pandemic is inevitable, and it can spread in less than 24 hours. If the sickness is severe enough, it might only take a few months for all of humanity to perish. Famous pandemics include the 1918 to 1920 Spanish flu, which killed 50 million people and infected 500 million more, and the catastrophic 1980s HIV epidemic, or the coronavirus pandemic, which continues to have an impact on humanity in the present day. AI. Elon Musk predicted to the New York Times in 2020 that artificial intelligence would surpass humans in intelligence by the year 2025. Today, more than 50% of the world's population uses code-driven systems, which present both extraordinary potential and challenges that have never been seen before. According to experts, artificial intelligence will increase human effectiveness while also posing a threat to human autonomy and competence. As an example, it will be pointless for humans to continue operating trucks once an AI system is capable of operating one in all circumstances more safely and effectively than a human can. A human being in the loop would really be detrimental and inefficient because, aside from saving on labor expenses, AI systems never speed, never get distracted, never drive when intoxicated, and can drive continuously without falling asleep. Giant asteroid impact. Despite fiction movies like Deep Impact and Armageddon may portray the threat of an asteroid impacting the planet, it actually exists. The fact that the Earth and Moon contain craters shows that they have historically been struck by huge asteroids. Rocks known as asteroids orbit the Sun and occasionally collide with the planet. Scientists believe that an asteroid large enough to trigger a worldwide catastrophe strikes Earth every 120,000 years. A large asteroid strike can cause nuclear winter-like conditions as the Sun is covered for many years due to the amount of dirt that is stirred up. Significant extinctions would be driven on by an asteroid 5 miles wide, similar to the one that may have indicated the end of the dinosaur era. Nuclear war. The fact that hundreds of nuclear missiles are prepared to go off within minutes is alarming, given that the biggest risk of nuclear war may come from an accident or misunderstanding. A nuclear explosion from today's destructive weapons would result in an 80 to 95% death rate and a blast zone of 4-kilometer radius. In the case of a full-scale nuclear conflict between the US and Russia, which together control the great majority of the world's nuclear warheads, countless numbers of people would perish and global temperatures may plummet by 8 degrees Celsius over the course of 5 years. There would be anarchy and violence since humans wouldn't be able to produce food. This indicates that even after a full-scale nuclear war, some humans would survive and gradually repopulate the planet, leaving a mass extinction in the Homo sapiens era. Solar storms. The Sun can release electromagnetic radiation waves and coronal mass ejections, which are sizable gas bubbles linked with magnetic field lines when solar storms take place. When coronal mass ejections reach Earth, they unleash energy that can be seen as vibrant auroras. While they may be attractive, the static discharges they release have the potential to damage or knock out electricity grids. Could a powerful enough one possibly wipe out life as we know it on our planet? According to NASA, due to the interconnection of modern power infrastructures, 130 million people in the United States alone might lose power in the event of a significant solar storm. Ecosystem collapse. The foundation of human life is the ecosystem. Without it, human societies and economies would not function at the current level. These functions are often referred to as environmental services. Humans are the main cause of change in this era, gradually destroying the conditions that make the Earth habitable, increasing greenhouse gas emissions and harming the health of ocean life. Leading scientists cautioned in 2019 that humanity were in danger due to the growing deterioration of the Earth's natural life support systems. The UN disclosed that the world's governments failed to reach a single target, which is to stop biodiversity losses in the last decade. It is known that without access to clean water, food, housing, and air to breathe, people would fight for survival, economies would start to collapse, and life as we know it would transform. Supervolcanoes. In the previous 2.1 million years, the Yellowstone supervolcano, which scored an 8 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index, has erupted 3 times, most recently around 70,000 years ago. That includes only the United States. If the eruption happened in the summer, according to meteorologists, the aerosols produced may extend throughout the world. Average global temperatures could fall dramatically over short term as the toxic cloud restricts sunlight, and they might not rise to normal for several years. Rainfall would drastically decrease that might be sufficient to cause tropical rainforests to die off, and farming might also collapse. Scientists are keeping an eye on a number of risk sites, including Yellowstone in the US, even though there is currently no method to predict eruptions more than weeks or months in advance, and there is also no real means to lower the likelihood of eruption at this time. Global warming. Last but not least, the well-known catastrophic climate change we are not paying nearly enough attention to. According to reports from the United Nations team of scientists, we only have 12 years left to keep global warming at a manageable level. There is a 1/3 risk that the Earth's temperature would rise by 3 degrees Celsius even if current global pledges to cut carbon emissions are followed. Midterm forecasts indicate that most of the world's agricultural land and freshwater resources would be lost, and important coastal cities like New York may submerge into the water. In the worst-case scenario, human civilization would end. Earth might resemble Venus, where the daily high temperature is 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Zombie apocalypse. There are countless movies, TV series, fictional books and even survivalist guides about an upcoming zombie apocalypse. But what if all this would come true? For instance, rabies, a well-known virus that attacks the central nervous system and can make a person or animal very violent. A hybrid rabies influenza virus, according to scientists, is theoretically be achievable but tricky to develop. Another frequently used justification for the potential of a zombie-like epidemic is the existence of specific, I quote, mind-controlling parasites. We all know there are remedies for such diseases, but what if a brand new irreversible mutation of an already existing illness manifests itself? Thank you for watching, and before wrapping it up, let me know in the comments which one of these disasters are most likely to happen, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for future videos.